Hello, morjesta, annyeonghaseyo. It's V-Bombe, Finnish coffee boy. Coffee boy. Korean Finnish boy, that's what I meant. Not coffee boy. I had coffee kind of here. Japanese green tea and chocolate mixed. Okay, not amazing, but I didn't ruin it, so it's okay. Compare differences between Korea and Finland. But my approach is kind of my point of view and more about like special things in Korea, since I want to think about those and I like to see the differences. I don't compare like what we have special here, but if it's different or special in Korea, and some exciting stuff too. Just my opinion. Some of these are my opinions. Got it. Okay, let's go. So first things first, what Finnish people like to talk is climate. Korea has a lot of mountains. We don't. Like that was really one hobby I really like to do in Korea because we don't have mountains in Finland. I had to say, Korea is surprisingly cold at winter. Yeah, of course summer is really hot and it gets warm really fast. But winter, the wind, no snow, not much snow, but the wind makes it feel like first you get really cold when it comes, the cold comes, no snow. But after snow comes, minus 20 degrees, you get used to it, you have enough clothes, not so much wind, you are quite fine. But in Korea, it stays on that. It stays in the place like windy and the snow never comes, kind of. And that's also, when the snow comes, Korean people get really excited. They are like, wow, the snow, and they take Instagram photos for us. I don't know. Do somebody do that here? I don't. Yeah, of course, it's nice when snow comes, but it's not surprise or anything to talk about to other people. Swimming in Korea, I did it a few times because it's not so easily possible. You have to go to coast, and I live near Seoul, Suwon. And when I went to swim, it was kind of cold for Korean people, not for me. I had t-shirt and I knew the water is not gonna be so warm, but I still went in because for me it's normal to go to cold water. The weather is not gonna warm it so fast when it takes time. So I just joined in. And I sometimes went there alone. And I learned the lesson. Once when I went alone to swim, and there was Koreans still come to beach, but they don't swim. So I went to swim alone. Many Korean people watching maybe. And what happened? I kicked my knee on the rock under the sea because I had no idea if it's okay to swim there, because people were at the beach and nobody went to swim. But I wanted, so I've kind of learned that it might not be safe. But that's not the reason why they didn't go to swim, because other side was really good, no rocks. I swim there a couple of times, and yeah. And if they go to swim, they might have swimming suit. I mean, the wetsuit, like kind of, because it's cold for them and they don't want to reveal too much. So even guys might have wetsuits. Walking barefoot on grass, because Koreans like to have picnic, a lot of picnic, and they don't make trash, but they had these soju caps with they roll the like the round thing and play games. It's metal stick. After rolling it, they play. When it throws, they have to drink. When it falls off, I mean, and then if you have picnic soju bottles, that means the stick is green, like grass, spike, and on the picnic area. I went once to play around, like doing barrel rolls and handstands on the grass, and I was like, what is this? Like I hit all the time to something. And then I started to look and I found these little soju cap things everywhere. Soju bottles, them green bottles. 10 cities, of course, they are huge compared to Finland. The buildings are tall, but I was surprised how remote area you can go in Korea and still find tall buildings. Because cities are full of them, but even the small cities are tall buildings, and between them is usually some mountains or forest, grass, but then you might end up seeing some tall building in middle of forest. Like, it looks like it's middle of forest, but it's not. When it comes to nightlife, I would say sometimes it felt like light pollution was really huge. There were these kind of cities like full of lights at the night, and it feels day. You don't feel so tired when you go night life in Korea because it's so much light everywhere. These signs. I mean, it's cool. I would prefer to have those kind of lights here. It feels kind of safe because it's so you can see everything. You don't need to get your phone to navigate to next bar. Or typhoon was kind of extreme. I had to face 3 typhoons in 1 year. 2 of them like really hit it. Like I never felt so strong wind. So you have to prepare if you go to Korea. The typhoon is gonna happen a few times in a year. And I was like almost in the middle of typhoon, and I first time felt one and like the danger of the nature because we don't have earthquakes, no typhoons, not that kind of stuff in Finland. So I totally forgot that you can have something like that when you go there. Then about sauna. They write it is Finnish sauna. In Korea they have a lot of saunas, jjimjilbangs. And there is many times written Finnish sauna. But I have to tell you, if you are Korean and watch this, it's not really Finnish sauna. The reason is, yeah, it's hot. That's good. It's hot, so it's closer to Finnish sauna because many saunas are in other countries are not hot enough to be Finnish sauna. But the second thing, what makes it Finnish sauna, is you have to throw the steam to rocks, water to rocks. Since that makes the room humid and steamy, that's how you can feel that it is like Finnish sauna, and that makes you stay longer. Because when I went to Korean sauna, it was like 90 degrees and not humid. So I stayed there 5 minutes. Like I'm like, it's too hot. I wanna get out. Like I could stay, but I don't enjoy. That's the difference. So you have to improve or try to Finnish sauna. That's really difference. And also about Simsilbang, we don't have those, but it's so funny. Like in this photo, the guy is sleeping in the middle of Simsilbang room, and that's totally fine. So cool. But I had to take pictures because it was so cool and funny for me. Like sleeping in public places in Finland is you don't see people sleep in public almost nowhere. Maybe in bus or some station waiting something. Food and alcohol drinks, that kind of stuff. Because okay, this is not difference of the taste or how the food look kind of because they are so different. So that would take another video. But I'm gonna talk about really special things about eating and drinking. About alcohol firstly. You can get alcohol in Korea around the clock, anytime you want. When you wake up or middle of night after bar. In Finland, it's from 9 to 9. You don't get alcohol at night. But if I want to take beer now and I don't have one, why would I couldn't go to shop and buy? Yeah, we don't have that. Alcohol in Korea. It is cheap if you think about soju. I would say normal beer is cheap, but you can get cheap beer in Finland, kind of same price than Korean, but I prefer Korean beer. It tastes better. Choose, I will take Korean beer anytime. Yeah. Somek, one thing. We don't have anything to mix with beer. You don't put vodka to beer. That tastes awful. So Somek is special, really different thing. That surprises foreigners about the taste, I'm sure. Because I was surprised and I loved it. Coffee. In Korea, The most common drink, I think, is ice coffee from cafe, ice americano, and I love that too. Really, ice coffee is so nice, even at winter. I just don't like any more hot coffee. Ice americano. You should try it. It's different. We have hot coffee. It's totally different. In Korea and Finland, that's kind of common. They consume a lot of alcohol, both, and a lot of coffee. I think most coffee consumed countries, Finland and Korea, are in those countries. But the difference is hot coffee, cold coffee. And when Koreans drink alcohol, they have that gene that their face can be totally red. He was next to me. We drink same amount about, and he was totally red. I was same. Like my face, maybe a little bit cheeks get little red, but nothing else. I don't sweat. Like, oh, yeah. Also another thing, if they eat spicy food, I don't know. This might not be difference with Korean Finnish people, but some of them started to really sweat. Maybe that's just me. I didn't sweat at all. Even I was in pain and burning from mouth. I don't have sweat, like almost at all. But that's kind of me. I go to gym. I don't sweat. Koreans don't eat breakfast, I think. I mean, sometimes and they can, but if you ask, I don't even know if they know what is their breakfast. They mostly go just start the day without breakfast and eat somewhere at the restaurant. I think many of them do that. They can have breakfast, but if you buy bread in Korea, it's gonna be sweet. That's that. There was one brand I found with the bread wasn't sweet, and it was a little bit sweet. But I kind of bought that many times because if you the Korean people talk about bread, it's sweet. It's like it feels like something to eat for dessert for Finnish people. So prepare that maybe you don't want to eat bread in Korea. Nothing like ruisleipä. And then there is also funny fruit salad. I have photo here. And you know, these red things in this fruit salad, they are tomatoes. That's so funny, and that's quite common. If you get some fruit cup or fruit salad or fruit something, there's tomatoes. I don't know, maybe tomatoes fruit, but I have to say it doesn't taste like same than the other fruit. It's not sweet, so I love tomatoes, but I think it doesn't fit together with other sweet fruits like pineapple and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's really funny. When you first time think you are taking fruit salad and oh, this is probably cherry because it's red, and you're tomato. Huh? About karaoke, you can go karaoke anytime a day, night in Korea, and it's karaoke room, private. It's not like people watching you. You don't have audience, so you can go there without drinking alcohol, and also with friends. We went many times without drinking alcohol just to sing in middle of day, like school day, and we went to sing. So that's different. In Finland, you have to get hell of drunk, and then you go sing. Let's go. That's and seafood. Like we have some fish, and it's possible to get other seafood. Mostly fish is common in Finland, but in Korea there is so many kinds of seafood. Seafood restaurants, everything seafood, clams, crabs, like octopus. I think we don't have those really, because they are not common in our water also. So maybe that's also a reason of it's hard to get fresh seafood from overseas. But in Korea, they love it, and I learned to eat those too. It was quite exciting journey. Also the living seafood. Like once I was in normal market, I was walking there and I saw like, what is that? Like some crabs on the bucket, and I went there like, oh, they live. They were living. I'm like, there was this kind of wall, so I think sometimes they drop on the floor and they just pick him like, hey, put this back, or oh, this is my food. Don't run away. Come on, let's go home. And I tried living octopus, not my thing, but funny. It's like a fun experience. I don't. I have video about it, but should I put it here? Me almost vomiting. Yeah. Koreans don't consume alcohol so much at one time. Like Finnish people wait weekend and then they drink a lot. But in Korea, I think people, even, I mean, students go, they don't think about the day. Like also in Finland, students go whenever they want at week. But in Korea, students and people after work, they go to restaurant and they probably drink. They drink some, sometimes more, sometimes less, but not too much usually. And I mean, that's what I saw. I have heard that there is crazy drinking. Yeah, maybe they do that also in weekend more. But at week, yeah, many people go to drink a lot every day sometimes. So I don't know if that's difference or same. Felt quite nice and normal. About the soju thing, this has to be difference because I had my Finnish friends visit me in Korea. And what happened? We went to market and there were a huge pile of water, and yeah, we had hangovers for a few days already, so we needed more water because we didn't want to drink tap water. So there was huge pile of water bottles and other pile. And the other pile had also clear bottles, same height, shape, clear ones, quite cheap, like almost same, maybe even cheaper than the water. And like Sammisu soju, it has the water logo. Maybe I can put it here. Like it has even like the water tier logo. And if you don't understand anything about the language and never drink soju before, they were picking 6-pack of like 1 liter or 1.5 liter bottles of soju. I was the only one who knew it was soju, so I was like, boys, this would be funny if you take that to home. But then there is this thing that we are not gonna have hangover, and so maybe you should change, like, these are water, okay, and this is alcohol. They were surprised, and that was funny moment. I should let them take it, but that would be harsh. We had quite rough week anyway. Then there is cooking in convenience store or outside ramen. There is some stands to have picnic and cook it. Like we don't have that. We don't even have real ramen. Many people in Finland probably don't know what is ramen. I mean, they think it's noodles, but if you don't taste it, you know only mama noodles, and that's 100% different. I never eat mama noodles anymore. The real ramen is so much better. Like I didn't like noodles before, but after ramen, I learned noodles are good. Thinking that Korea have a lot of grease in their food. Some of them like chicken, and they drink a lot of alcohol and fry everything. Fried bokkeumbap, fried rice, everything. So how do they don't get weight? That's interesting, but maybe it's the variety of food. They also have really healthy foods, and they go restaurants so they can change. Maybe they don't eat so often. The grill in middle of table, and you cook your own food in restaurant. That's really nice. I really like it. It makes the food taste really warm and good, and you can make it as medium well done as you want by yourself. I would like to have that, and also because it's the eating happens together. There is like you usually go eat outside with friends. You gather and you eat from same pan and plate. You maybe have your own cup. So you eat from same plate. You don't have maybe your own plate. Sometimes not at all. Sometimes a little rice or something is just yours. But many times you fight for the food. No, they are really kind people, so you don't need to fight usually. But when it's good food, you have to eat fast because everybody loves it. And so yeah, you take together. At Corona time, maybe not so good, but otherwise, I really love that common eating and feeling like we are group, we are together in this thing. Like that's how you can feel really easily connected to Korean people and be their friend, I think, because they love eating. Eating is important to them together. They maybe hate to eat alone, I think, most of them. So going to eat with Koreans is best, and it's different because here I eat this table every day alone. So boring. I missed the quarantine, but I kind of don't try to do nothing about it. Photo about cooking cocoons, like bugs. Yeah, they don't eat so much bugs in Korea, but I think they can eat everything. They have intestines and everything. Bugs are possible snacks. Oh, even girls like it. Oh, this is nice. And I tasted it. It wasn't so bad. It has quite interesting smell. But if you close your eyes, ice cream is at the there is bingsu place, and I never heard bingsu before, because Finnish people, we live in cold, but we love ice cream. We eat a lot of ice cream. I had to say Finnish ice cream is kind of better, the normal one. But if you take bingsu, there's crust ice at the bottom. Like if you Finland go outside and eat snow, it kind of tastes really same, but more nice because you know that there is nothing bad in it. At the top is some sweet stuff, fruit, candies, cookies, and real ice cream and some sauce, which makes it really good. So with together, like the tasteless crust ice, it's really nice. But alone, it's quite meh. At the end of the cup is many times like, ooh, why do I eat this? But before, it just feels nice after hot day and keeps it cold, I think. Yeah, works. When you are drinking at restaurant, I think for them it's quite okay to spoil the drink. You can make mess when you hit the table and do some shot things and pour like pouring everywhere, like mixing the bottle. Yeah, that's like only cool for them, and they make it. I wonder if I do that in our bar or restaurant, what would they say? Like to see me put the beer like everywhere on the table, like. Yeah, maybe it's possible, but people try not to make mess here. They don't think about it. It's mess, I think. It's just cool and nice and funny, and they play a lot of games when they drink or